sound of chains scraping against stone echoes through the darkness as Maria's bloodied hands grip the pickaxe one more time. 18 years old, she's been trapped in these Colorado gold mines for 3 years, ever since raiders killed her family and sold her to mine owner Samuel Hutchins. But today something's different. Today a lone Apache warrior stands at the mine entrance, holding the reins of his last horse. "That girl ain't for sale, Redskin." Hutchins spits tobacco juice into the dirt, his hand resting on his Colt revolver. "She's my best worker." The Apache, weathered face marked by loss, speaks in broken English. "My wife? She died last winter. Cold took her. This horse and all I have left. Trade for girl." Maria freezes, pickaxe suspended mid-swing. Through the mine shaft opening, she can see the magnificent Mustang, black as midnight with white markings. She's heard whispers among the other workers about this Apache. They call him Joseph Running Bear, a man who lost everything when soldiers burned his village. "You're crazy if you think one mangy horse is worth 3 years of training," Hutchins laughs, but his eyes study the animal. "It's clearly worth more than any horse he's ever seen." Joseph's weathered hands stroke the horse's neck. "This horse, carry my father in battle, carry me through canyon when soldiers chase, carry my wife to sacred burial ground." His voice breaks slightly. "Worth more than all gold in mountain." The other miners have stopped working, gathering to watch this unprecedented negotiation. Maria's heart pounds so hard, she's sure everyone can hear it echoing off the mine walls. Besides, Hutchins continues, "What's an old Apache want with a Mexican girl anyway? You planning to make her your squaw?" Joseph's jaw tightens. "My wife. She always say, help those who cannot help themselves. Girl, remind me of daughter we never have." Maria's eyes fill with tears. In 3 years, no one has spoken about her as if she were human. She's been property, a tool, a thing to be used until broken. Hutchins circles the horse, running his hands along its flanks. "This is a fine animal, I'll give you that. But the girl stays." Final answer. Joseph reaches into his leather pouch and pulls out something that makes Hutchins' eyes widen. A gold nugget, the size of a chicken egg. "Found this in creek near my camp. Horse and gold for girl." The mine falls completely silent. That nugget is worth more than most men see in a lifetime. Hutchins' greed wars with his cruelty as he stares at the fortune in Joseph's palm. "Where'd you find that?" Hutchins demands. "Secret place, many more where this come from. But only trade for girls' freedom." Maria can barely breathe. Freedom. The word tastes foreign in her mind after 3 years of slavery. Hutchins snatches the nugget, biting it to test its authenticity. "Well, I'll be damned. It's real." He looks between the horse, the gold, and Maria. "You got yourself a deal, Chief." As the shackles fall from Maria's wrists for the first time in 3 years, she stumbles toward the mine entrance, legs weak from malnutrition and exhaustion. Joseph catches her arm gently. "You safe now," he whispers. "No one hurt you again." But as they walk away from the mine, neither Maria nor Joseph notice Hutchins signaling to his foreman. The mine owner has no intention of letting that gold location remain a secret. If you're loving this story of courage and unexpected friendship, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think will happen next. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss our incredible true stories from the Old West. 3 days later, Maria sits by Joseph's campfire in a hidden canyon, wearing clean clothes for the first time in years. Her hands, finally healing from the constant mining, shake as she holds a cup of coffee. "Why?" she asks in Spanish, then switches to broken English. "Why you save me?" Joseph stares into the flames. "My wife, she have vision before she die. She see girl with dark hair, trapped in darkness. She tell me, when you find her, you save her. This your purpose now." Maria's eyes widen. "Your wife, she saw me. Dreams sometimes show truth. White dove always have gift." Joseph's voice carries deep sadness. "She say girl will help me find peace, and I help her find strength." Before Maria can respond, the sound of approaching horses echoes through the canyon. Joseph's hand immediately moves to his rifle. "Stay behind rocks," he whispers urgently. 6 riders emerge from the canyon entrance, Hutchins and his men, all armed and looking for trouble. "We know you're in there, Apache," Hutchins shouts. You're going to tell us where that gold came from, or things are going to get real unpleasant. Joseph steps into view, rifle ready. You have what you want. Leave us be. See, that's where you're wrong, Hutchins grins wickedly. I want that gold mine location, and I figure the girl might remember some things that could help us. Motivate you. Maria's blood runs cold. She recognizes that tone. It's the same one Hutchins used before he beat workers who didn't meet their quotas. Girl is free, you cannot touch her, Joseph states firmly. Free? Hutchins laughs. Boy, you don't understand how things work out here. That paper I signed don't mean nothing if she's harboring a thief. The standoff stretches taut as a bowstring. Maria realizes that Joseph sacrificed everything for her freedom, and now they're both in mortal danger. Suddenly, Maria stands up from behind the rocks. I know where the gold is. Both Joseph and Hutchins turn to stare at her in shock. Maria, no, Joseph whispers. I worked those mines for 3 years, she continues, walking slowly toward the group. I know every tunnel, every vein, every secret passage. There's gold Hutchins never found. Hutchins' eyes light up with greed. Now you're talking sense, girl. Where? But first, you let Joseph go. He saved me, now I save him. Maria, Joseph protests, you don't understand what you're doing. She looks back at him with determination burning in her dark eyes. I understand perfectly. You gave me freedom. Now I choose what to do with it. Hutchins considers this. All right, girl. You show us the gold and the Apache walks free. But if you're lying... I'm not lying, Maria says quietly. But we go at dawn. The passages are too dangerous in darkness. As night falls over the canyon, Maria and Joseph sit by the dying fire. She's made a decision that could save them both, or get them killed. The gold, Joseph asks quietly. It's real. Maria nods. There's a chamber Hutchins never found, but getting there. She pauses. It's not what they think. Joseph studies her face in the firelight. You have plan. Maybe, but it's dangerous for both of us. Danger is old friend, Joseph replies. What do you need me to do? As Maria explains her desperate plan, neither of them notices the figure watching from the canyon rim, someone who will change everything they think they know about survival, trust, and the true meaning of freedom. The morning sun casts long shadows across the canyon, as Hutchins and his men prepare for what they believe will be the easiest gold strike of their lives. But Maria has spent 3 years learning that in the darkness of the mines, nothing is ever what it seems. The next morning, Maria leads the group toward what appears to be an abandoned mine shaft on the canyon's eastern wall. Her heart pounds as she points to a narrow opening barely visible behind fallen rocks. The chamber is through there, she tells Hutchins, but only 2 people can fit through the passage at a time. Hutchins studies the opening suspiciously. How do we know you ain't leading us into a trap? Because I want to live, Maria replies simply, and because there's enough gold in there to make us all rich. What Hutchins doesn't know is that Maria discovered this passage during her final week at the mine, and it doesn't lead to gold. It leads to an underground river that connects to a series of caves extending for miles. Her plan is desperate, but it's their only chance. Jenkins, you and Rodriguez go in first, Hutchins orders. Girl, you go with them. Apache, you stay here with me. No, Maria says firmly. Joseph comes with me. He knows these mountains better than anyone. If there's danger, we need him. Hutchins considers this, his greed overriding his caution. Fine, but if this is some kind of trick... It's not, Maria lies smoothly. As they enter the narrow passage, Maria whispers to Joseph in Spanish, when I say run, you run toward the water sound. Don't look back. The passage opens into a large cavern, and Hutchins' men immediately start searching for gold veins. The sound of rushing water echoes from deeper in the cave system. Where's the gold? Jenkins demands, his voice echoing off the stone walls. Deeper, Maria says, leading them toward the sound of water. The richest vein is past the underground stream. They reach a narrow ledge overlooking a fast-moving underground river. The water disappears into darkness, flowing toward unknown depths. I don't see no gold, Rodriguez mutters nervously. Because you're not looking in the right place, Maria says. Then, in a voice loud enough for everyone to hear, the gold is on the other side of the river. We have to cross. Hutchins peers into the darkness. How deep is that water? Not deep, Maria lies, but the current is strong. We need to be careful. As the men debate how to cross, Maria catches Joseph's eye and nods almost imperceptibly toward a side passage she spotted earlier. There, she says suddenly, pointing across the river. Do you see that glint in the rock face? All eyes turn to where she's pointing. In that moment of distraction, Maria grabs Joseph's hand and pulls him toward the side passage. Run! She shouts. Gunshots echo through the cavern as they disappear into the darkness. Behind them, Hutchins' furious voice reverberates off the stone walls. Find them! They ain't getting out of here alive! Maria and Joseph race through a maze of tunnels, the sound of pursuit growing fainter. Maria's knowledge of underground passages, gained from 3 years of forced labor, guides them through the darkness. This way, she whispers, leading him down a steep incline. There's another exit about a mile from here. How you know all this? Joseph asks as they navigate the treacherous path. When you're a slave, you learn every possible escape route, Maria replies grimly. I've been planning this for 2 years. They emerge from a hidden cave opening on the opposite side of the mountain, gasping in the fresh morning air. But their relief is short-lived. Smoke rises from the direction of Joseph's camp. They found our camp, Joseph says quietly. Everything you owned? Maria asks. Joseph nods. Everything. But material things can be replaced. Life cannot. As they watch the smoke dissipate, Maria realizes that saving Joseph has cost him everything he had left. The guilt threatens to overwhelm her. I'm sorry, she whispers. You lost everything because of me. Joseph turns to look at her, his weathered face kind despite their circumstances. I lost things, but I found something more important. What? Purpose. My wife's vision was true. You not just girl I save, you the one who saved me from dying inside. Before Maria can respond, they hear horses approaching fast. Hutchins and his remaining men have found their trail. We need to keep moving, Joseph says. I know place we can hide. No more hiding, Maria says with sudden determination. I'm tired of running, tired of being afraid. It's time to end this. What you mean? Maria's eyes harden with resolve. Hutchins wants gold? I'm going to give him exactly what he deserves. As the sound of approaching horses grows louder, Maria explains a plan so audacious that Joseph initially thinks she's lost her mind. But as he listens, he begins to understand that the young woman he saved has a strength and cunning that 3 years of slavery couldn't break. It's dangerous, he warns. Everything worth doing is dangerous, Maria replies. Besides, I learned something important in those mines. What? Sometimes the only way out is through. The final confrontation is about to begin, and neither Hutchins nor his men have any idea what they're riding into. Maria has spent 3 years learning that survival requires more than just endurance. It requires the courage to fight back. 2 hours later, Hutchins and his 3 remaining men track Maria and Joseph to what appears to be an abandoned mining camp in a narrow valley. The place looks deserted, but Hutchins isn't taking any chances. Spread out, he orders, they're here somewhere. What Hutchins doesn't know is that this isn't just any abandoned camp. It's the site of a mine disaster from 5 years ago, where unstable tunnels collapsed and killed a dozen miners. Maria discovered it during one of her escape attempts and memorized every dangerous detail. Come out, Hutchins shouts. How you can't hide forever. Maria's voice echoes from somewhere among the abandoned buildings. I'm not hiding, Hutchins, I'm waiting. Waiting for what? For you to realize you've been chasing the wrong treasure. Hutchins signals his men to move closer to the sound of her voice. What's that supposed to mean? The gold I promised you, it's real, but it's not in those caves. Joseph, hidden in the old mine office, watches as Hutchins' greed overrides his caution once again. Then where is it? Hutchins demands. Right here, in this camp. The miners who died here found the richest vein in Colorado. That's why the mine owner sealed the tunnels after the collapse, to hide the evidence. It's a complete lie, but Maria knows Hutchins well enough to understand that his greed will make him believe anything. You're lying, Hutchins says, but his voice lacks conviction. Am I? Why do you think this place was abandoned so quickly? Why do you think they never tried to recover the bodies? Hutchins looks around the camp with new eyes, seeing potential wealth instead of danger. The entrance to the main vein is in the old processing building, Maria continues. But the supports are weak. Only one person should go in at a time. Nice try, girl. You go first. Fine, Maria says, stepping into view for the first time. But when you see what's down there, you're going to wish you'd treated me better. She walks toward the most dangerous building in the camp, the old processing facility, where the roof supports have been weakened by years of weather and neglect. The entrance is in the back room, she calls out. Follow me if you want to be rich. Hutchins and his men crowd into the building behind her, their eyes gleaming with anticipated wealth. The wooden floor creaks ominously under their combined weight. There, Maria points to a hole in the floor that leads to the old processing tunnels. The gold vein runs right underneath this building. Hutchins peers into the darkness below. I don't see nothing. You have to go down about 20 feet. There's a chamber where they stored the richest ore before the collapse. The building groans as more weight shifts toward the weakened floor. Maria slowly backs toward the door. Why don't you go first, girl? Hutchins suggests suspiciously. Because I'm not stupid enough to trust you to pull me back up, Maria replies. You want the gold, you take the risk. Hutchins considers this, his greed warring with his caution. Finally, greed wins. Jenkins, get down there and take a look. As Jenkins lowers himself into the hole, the floor supports creak dangerously. Maria takes another step toward the door. I see something, Jenkins calls from below. There's definitely ore down here. It's fool's gold, worthless pyrite that glitters like the real thing in the darkness, but Hutchins doesn't know that. How much? Hutchins shouts down. Looks like a fortune. The remaining men crowd closer to the hole, adding their weight to the already stressed floor. Maria reaches the doorway. Hutchins, she calls out. He turns to look at her, triumph gleaming in his eyes. What? This is for every girl you'll never hurt again. She slams the door and throws the heavy wooden bar across it, trapping them inside. Immediately she hears them pounding on the door and shouting, Let us out! Hutchins roars. You can't leave us in here! Watch me, Maria calls back. The building's supports, weakened by years of neglect and now stressed by the men's frantic movements, begin to fail. Maria runs toward the mine office where Joseph is waiting. Time to go, she says breathlessly. Behind them, the sound of splintering wood fills the air as the processing building's floor gives way. The men's shouts turn to screams as they fall into the unstable tunnels below. Joseph and Maria mount the horse they'd hidden behind the mine office, Hutchins' own mount, which they'd taken while the men were searching the caves. They're trapped, not dead, Maria explains as they ride away. If they're smart, they'll find a way out. If they're not, she shrugs. That's their choice. You show mercy even to those who show you none, Joseph observes. I'm not like them, Maria replies firmly. I won't become a killer just because they are. As they ride toward the setting sun, Maria realizes that for the first time in 3 years, she's truly free. Not just from physical bondage, but from the fear and helplessness that had defined her existence. Where do we go now? She asks. West, Joseph says. I have cousin in California. He has ranch, always need good workers. People there don't ask too many questions about past. And you? What will you do? Joseph is quiet for a long moment. My wife's vision showed me saving you. But maybe you save me too. Maybe we both start new life. Maria smiles, the first genuine smile she's worn in years. I'd like that. As they disappear into the vast landscape of the American West, two broken souls who found healing in each other's courage ride toward a future neither could have imagined. Behind them, the abandoned mining camp stands silent, keeping its secrets buried in the Colorado earth. 3 months later, a letter arrives at the sheriff's office in Denver. It's from a mining camp in California, signed by a woman named Maria Esperanza and a man called Joseph Running Bear. They're writing to report the location of several men trapped in an abandoned mine in Colorado, men who might still be alive if someone hurries. The letter doesn't mention that these men were slavers and criminals. It simply says that human life has value, regardless of the choices people make. When the rescue party reaches the abandoned camp, they find Hutchins and 2 of his men alive but humbled, having survived on underground spring water and whatever they could catch in the tunnels. The third man didn't make it. Hutchins never speaks about what really happened in those tunnels, or about the young woman who showed him more mercy than he ever showed anyone else. But sometimes, late at night, he wonders about the girl who chose freedom over revenge, and the Apache who taught her that strength comes not from hatred, but from the courage to help others find their own path to healing. If this incredible story of courage, redemption, and unexpected friendship moved you, smash that subscribe button right now. Share your thoughts in the comments about what real freedom means to you, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because we've got more amazing true stories from the Old West coming your way. Your support helps us bring these powerful stories to life. So like this video, subscribe, and let's build this community of history lovers together. What story should we tell next?